Hey guys, welcome to Nightshift episode 11. I am Jaffe, along with my host Will.
What's up?
Carlos and David are out of town and could not join us today, but today on the show we have Kendall. Hey Kendall.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Kendall's going to be a good one. Kendall's worked both sides of the industry, being a waitress and being an entertainer. So I feel like you got some good stories for us.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah. How long have you been in the industry?
About 2 years now, a little over 2 years now.
And what was your transition? Like, where were you at prior?
So I was working at a restaurant called Twin Peaks before I started at the club and everything. So I was already kind of in
Junior stripper.
Yeah, basically. A lot of people go from places like Hooters and
Like
Twin
a Hooters
Peaks
is like a
into-
prerequisite.
Yeah.
No, it basically
Yeah.
is 100%. A bunch of people switch over and everything like that. So that's kind of what I did. I wasn't even looking for a new job when I came to the club. A girl that I worked with previously was actually coming to apply, and she was like, come with me. And so came up there, and then we both got hired as servers.
Right.
Been there ever since.
I remember you gave me my car was in the shop or something. You and your friend gave me a ride home once.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were
Entertaining.
very entertaining, very entertaining.
How
always a
long
good
were you
time.
the waitress before you gave yourself a raise?
Well, so I was a waitress there for 2 years, but I had been serving since I was 18 and had been in the food industry since I was like 16. So I've been doing that for a good little minute before I switched over.
That's right. You guys would always be hanging out in the parking lot after work.
There were a couple of times we were in the
Do you
car and
two
you would
ever
just come
leave?
drive over.
You two need to go. Go home.
Like, we're leaving soon,
We're
I
closed.
promise.
So, have you danced at other clubs?
No, so this is the
Only
only
the
club.
one, period.
Yeah, I've never
Never
even
even thought about going to another one.
it's definitely crossed my mind, but
I feel like a lot of the girls don't, and I feel like I understand completely.
I just hear way too many horror stories about other clubs. It honestly like terrifies me to go anywhere else because I don't want to die.
Like what?
Like so like a lot of girls will talk about like the way that other like management acts and other girls act. Our club for the most part is pretty good about stuff like that. Of course, it's all women, so there's little fights here and there.
Mathematically impossible for everybody to get along.
Yes, but most of the time I feel like that kind of stuff doesn't really get involved inside of the club. A lot of girls choose to deal with those things outside of the club and stuff, so it's never really too much of an issue like getting in the way of people's money or anything like that. And I've heard at other clubs it's not like that, and people will literally like stomp right across you to get what they want. And
It's just a brawl, huh?
basically,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part
I
of
would
that.
think if you travel though too, you got to pay. It's one thing just to go in your hometown and have a bad night because then you can just suck it up, go home, and tomorrow's the next day. But if you're traveling, you got travel expense, you got your hotel, you got food, and then you got to still break even before you make any money.
Oh yeah, and I have 3 pets that I have to get taken care of if I want to try and travel anywhere. So that's always
What
fun.
you got? I got pets too.
I got a dog and 2 cats.
Yeah.
It's a whole zoo in my house.
Yeah, we all have a lot of pets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you got how many? You got
Oh, I can't even
10
count.
fish tanks?
We're down to 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a third, but it's empty. But yeah, down to 2. Just the turtles and the fish.
Turtles, I love
Yeah.
turtles.
And the 6 dogs.
6 dogs. Yeah, that's a zoo.
It's rescue, so we rescue animals.
See, I wish my dog hates other dogs, so I could never get another dog.
Right now I have this cat, and this is a weird story, but this cat has been around my house for the last 5 years, in and out. It's completely feral, was what we thought. It has a blue eye and a darker eye. It's white, and it had a cut down the side of its neck. It's just this gaping flesh. And we always wanted to try to catch it, but it's really savvy. It'll sneak up to the house, get some food, and take off. And we're like, that thing's going to die. How's it going to survive? And then we don't see it for a while. Then it shows back up. So over the 5 years, it finally has got a little bit more docile. And
Domesticated
it's because
itself.
we found out that it's gone deaf. Like probably from all the stuff going on with it. So he can't hear. It's a boy. So he sits out in the middle of the road. You have to like shoo him back to the house. So we thought it was going to be a problem to catch him, but he's just
came
walked
right
into
up.
the cage and like, let's go to the vet. I'm finally going to give up. So we found out that he's actually a rare cat.
Nice.
Actually, pretty expensive cat that somebody
Probably dumped there.
dumped or ran away or whatever.
So you got 6 dogs and a cat
Oh, I have
And a
more than one
turtle.
cat. Probably more like around 10 cats.
in your yard and in your house.
There's the ones that are handicapped. 2 of the handicapped ones live in the house, as well as Mr. Dorbs. Mr. Dorbs lives in the house too. He's adorable, so he gets.
But you have 6 cats and 10 cats and 6 dogs.
So 3 or 4 cats outside, 2 that are back and forth, and then the 2 handicapped cats. Tripod. She's missing an arm. I mean, it fit.
You named
Right?
it Tripod.
It fit. Yeah, she fits. She lives in the kitchen, and the other cats just roam around.
That's how I plan on being.
But you are also into plants, right? Because we've talked about plants as well. I have a lot.
Yeah,
of
I've got like 70 plus plants.
70? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I only have like 20, and I thought I had
Anything
a lot.
rare?
I've got a couple of things that are like kind of rare. Nothing too crazy because my cats like to eat all of my plants, so I've decided to not buy any more expensive ones.
Yeah.
Because they literally ruin every plant that I buy. But
Mine does too, and I'm always scared that, especially my bird, I'm always scared that one of them is poisonous to their system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. My
Yeah, you
bird.
do.
Well, my bird. I don't know what half my plants are called. They just look cool.
You have a parakeet, right?
send me pictures and I got
Amigo?
you.
Yeah.
Amigo?
But he'll eat the plants, and I'm always like, oh, I guess if he dies, it's from that.
What's your most expensive plant that you paid for?
That I paid for probably like $130.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more that I want. Like one that I want right now is like $1,800.
Yeah.
But I just can't bring myself to spend that much
Is that
on
that
a
plant? So someone tried to sell me an expensive one the other day. Is that the one like it's lacks chlorophyll? Where it's like
Yes,
white?
yes.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
it's
it's pretty much going to die.
well, no.
And then next season, I'm like, wait. You want $1,800 for this thing's going to die?
I mean, as long as they have some green on the leaves, then it's still getting like
Right.
what it needs and everything. It was probably the Monstera.
My friend Chris
Yeah,
has
that's it, yeah.
he has a Monstera or one of those where it's like half is white, half is green.
Right.
He sells the leaves. I want it they're like literally a couple of $1,000s for a leaf.
Oh yeah.
And people buy it.
There's one in Charlotte for sale for $1,800.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll hit Chris up for a leaf.
Yeah. No,
That's in the
he's
South
he's
Park area.
he's a badass with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out, fam.
Shout out to fam. Yeah, so I remember because you worked at a plant store, wasn't it?
I did last summer for a couple of months
you
while
broke
I
your
still
leg or
worked at the.
something.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't break it. I like messed up something inside of my ankle. I like pulled the ligaments and twisted a bunch of stuff. And so I was in a boot for almost 2 months last summer, and I took it off early because I couldn't do it anymore.
Started to affect your money, huh?
I mean, a little bit. I had this guy like come in, and he got really mad at me because I was taking too long to bring him his drinks. And so we were also really busy that night, so I had a bunch of other tables, and he ended up cashing out with me and told me he was leaving and like was kind of rude to me. But I still looked down and I was like,
You
I
didn't
hope
see
you
the
have.
boot on your foot?
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. He like literally like goes off on me and all this, and I like still smiled and told him to like have a good night because like when I was a server, I was always the type like I don't care what you say to me, I'm gonna be as nice as I can so that you're mad that I was nice. I just feel like that's kind of more satisfying than yelling back at them. And so he ended up sitting at the bar, and about 45 minutes later, he saw me hobbling around with my little boot, and he walks up to me and he goes, I am so sorry I was so rude to you. I didn't realize you were crippled and had a boot on, and ended up giving me like $100 for the fact that he like felt bad and like I was like crippled.
That's good. He
You're
came
like,
to
now
his
I'm wearing it
senses.
every day.
Basically, at that point, I was like,
Putting
damn,
shoe
maybe I
on.
should wear it more often.
Yeah. You're always handicapped now.
Literally.
Leg brace.
I had plantar fasciitis one time in there, man. The bottom of my foot, it was like for a couple months, it was so bad.
Yeah, that does not sound very
Yeah.
fun at all.
I mean, the physical aspect of the job is pretty much there. I mean, you're constantly
100%.
it's exercise all day long, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially when I mean, it's different types of exercise between the two like jobs, but when I was a server, I acted like the world was on fire all the time and like ran around the place.
I remember telling you to stop running.
Yeah, I got told that quite a few times. I also fell down the stairs a few times. But I got pity money most of the time when I would fall down the stairs.
Seems to work.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, pity money spends the same as regular money does. It's all green at the end of the day.
Yeah. So what's the most you ever made?
The most I ever made was right when I started as a dancer. It was actually one of my old regulars from when I was a server. And him and a big group of his friends had come in and ended up taking this group of girls upstairs. And so all of the guys had a dancer and everything. And then he realized that I was there. And so I was just an extra girl, basically. He brought me up for the full time because he wanted, I guess, my energy there from when I was a server. And so we ended up being there till like 6 in the morning on a Wednesday, and we close at 2. So we were there really putting in work, but I made about $4,000 that night.
Yeah.
That's a good night.
Oh, yeah. Especially, it was like within like my first like 2 months of switching to dancing, so.
You're like, waitressing.
It's like, damn, why didn't I do this sooner?
Right. So how did your friends, because I know you had a friend pool that you served with since you started serving. How do they feel when you transitioned, and did they even feel like
I mean,
you joined the dark side?
People definitely said that to me a lot. I mean, my clientele when I was serving is very different than my clientele as a dancer. I feel like in any serving job I've had, my personality really carries me in those types of situations. And so a lot of my clientele were like huge partiers and like people that just wanted to be like absolutely crazy and stuff like that. And so they were also the kinds of guys that were into like the girls with the really huge asses and the fake tits and like that type of like Miami style look. So like for the first like month to 2 months, like I make good money off of them, but I'm also just like not their style of dancer, so that kind of didn't work as well for me.
You gotta find your niche.
Yes, 100%. Usually is men that are from out of town.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got it. I feel like to be effective, you have to be strategic.
100%.
Otherwise, you're just like, it's like fishing. You're just like, if you put a worm on the end of a hook and throw it out in the lake, you're eventually going to catch a fish.
Oh, yeah.
But you're never going to catch a whale unless you're strategic about it.
No, there's definitely certain types of guys in the club that like, unless they kind of call me over or if when I go on stage, like I catch them like really looking, I won't really approach them because I just feel like I'm not necessarily their type and I could very easily walk up to the guy right beside him that I know I'm going to be his type and make the same amount of money potentially.
Do you feel any, pressure, I would say, on doing augmentation, since you see a lot of people doing it that start professionally entertaining adult entertainment?
I mean, I've definitely thought about like doing like stuff like OnlyFans and stuff like that before, but for the most, I mean, I've only been dancing for like 7 months now, so for the most part, I kind of keep everything like at the club. I don't really do much outside of the club.
I meant as far as like some of the people that you started serving with now have done boob jobs and other things of that nature.
Oh, yeah. No, the only thing that I feel like I really want to do is get my lips done. But that's been something that I've wanted to do for forever. Yeah. Just because I feel like it looks
So you feel your niche because you're a very petite person. You feel
Yes.
like you've got a good, you're the person in that category.
I feel like for the most part, at least at the club that I work at, the style that I have works really well for me. And of course, if I were to like say get my boobs done or something like that, like there would be plenty of guys who would be very into it. But like, I mean, I make plenty of money without it. I don't really feel the need to do it because it's not, that would be more like something that I would do for the club.
Well, I'm glad because, I even had a customer describe you. He didn't even know who you were, who he wanted. And I was like, your face popped up. I'm like, I got the girl for you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's cool. Good. Because I've seen a lot of entertainers that when they started out and once they become professional at it or it becomes pretty mainstream for them, they start doing augmentations as far as surgeries go. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you keep your niche.
Yeah, that would be kind of something more that
maybe
I
go back to serving
specifically for the club. Oh no, definitely not that. Definitely not at the club either, because like, I don't know, I make good money dancing and I have a lot of fun doing it. So,
do you keep a set schedule or do you just go by how you feel each day, or is there like a certain days of the week that you're definitely there?
I usually do keep a pretty set schedule. Right now, like the past like month or so, probably a little bit more, I haven't really been able to keep a schedule, but I usually work like Wednesday to Saturday. Those tend to be the nights that I try to stick to.
You got any crazy stories?
Any of your animals ever escape?
Oh no, none of my animals have escaped.
I have one that's an escape artist. She's finally slowing down. She's cost me a lot of money.
Oh God.
What, to rescue it?
She's hurt other animals.
Yeah.
She's hurt other animals.
Yeah, she's hurt other animals.
That's not very good.
I had I was bird sitting. I was dating this girl and I had her bird. She had the bird for 14 years. The bird's name was Ginger. So I had Ginger on my dining room table, because I had my bird in the corner and I didn't want them to see each other because they'd never shut up and I wouldn't be able to sleep. So I went to sleep. I woke up. I'd worked that night. So I got home went to bed at 6 in the morning. I got up to go pee and it's 8 in the morning and the birds were making noises, right? So I walked downstairs and I took Ginger out just so she would be quiet. And I'm like, hey, Ginger. And I put her on the cage. And then right then I see the UPS man walking up, and I'm like, fuck, my package, right? I'm in so I wear boxer shorts. This secret, but I wear tighty whities when I'm wearing my suit, right? So I'm in my tighty whities. The UPS man comes to the door, and I open up the door because I'm excited to get my package, and I totally forgot that the fucking bird was on the cage, and all of a sudden, I just hear this, and I'm like, holy shit. So now I'm outside of my house in my underwear screaming a girl's name because it's Ginger. I'm like, Ginger, Ginger. The UPS man's like, doesn't know what the hell is going on, and I'm like fucking panicking. So I'm like looking around, and I don't see it, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I look at my neighbors, and I see her on the top, on the second story, holding on to like the window, what's it called, the mesh, the screen of the window. And I see her heart going like this. She's never been outside. Her wings are clipped, and she's outside, right?
Oh,
this is,
poor baby.
yeah, right. And the girl who's had it is out of town, right? You know, and she's had it for 15 years. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to my neighbor's house with my underwear, and I knock on the door. Their dog starts barking. I didn't even know they had a dog. As soon as the dog starts barking, Ginger flies up. She goes between my house because I live in an N unit, and now she's out of my sight. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, now it just so happens of all people to drive by, like nobody would believe this unless my brother happened to drive by, because the grandma to my niece lives in my neighborhood. So Ryan just happened to drive by and sees his brother running around in his underwear. He's like, what in the hell is going on? I said, the bird ran out. So he goes and grabs one of my bar stools and puts some bird food on it and sits it in the middle of the driveway thinking that the bird's like going to come fly down and get it. Meanwhile, I'm in the back of the yard like looking for the bird, and all of a sudden I see it 3 doors down on the second floor again. I'm like, so I run over there. I take these people, they had all this furniture, right? I take all the furniture and I literally stack it on top of each other, and then they had a flagpole, and I took the flag off and I folded it real nice in my underwear, and I put the flag over the couch, and then I scaffold the side of the building, and I'm holding this thing in my hand. I'm like, Ginger, Ginger, and she fucking got on it.
Really?
Yep, I came down, I rescued it, and then I never told the girl until we had broke up that her bird had ran
You never told her about the escape?
No, never.
Why did Ryan not film this? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, why is there no video footage of
if
all
somebody
of
would have
this?
seen that, it would have been viral for sure.
That's why you need a Ring doorbell.
Yeah, man. God, that was crazy.
Because then we could have seen you
I
run out
was
of your house in
so
your tidy
freaked out when
whities.
that happened. Migo's never escaping. Like that dude, I got that dude on lockdown.
I thought he got out once too, didn't he?
No, he's flown in the garage, but yeah, no, I'm super careful.
You got any questions for us or anything you want to talk about, or anything you want to plug?
Nothing that I want to plug necessarily. Yeah. I do have a funny story about a customer that I met this past
That's
week.
what we want.
Yeah.
So I had this guy come in, and his first time ever coming in was this past Wednesday, and he wore this like suit and everything, and then he drank like this little thing of like weed, basically. I don't know what exactly it was, but I don't think it was weed. I think it was crack, because
I didn't know you could drink crack.
this man proceeds to decide that he's going to start his own podcast.
Oh, wow.
So he uses my phone and goes on my voice memos and starts recording himself speaking. And I haven't listened to the full recording yet, but it sounds like he's talking to the aliens.
Really?
I think that he believes that there are the aliens from the way that he was talking about things.
Is there any way we could all listen to it?
Yeah,
I mean,
wanna hear.
I can definitely pull out a piece of it, because it's
So
it's a 16-minute voice recording.
Oh man,
he's just talking like there
Like,
are aliens, or he's
Me and one
he
of
is an alien.
Me and one of the servers are like, you can hear us in the background. We're just like having a conversation, and he is literally like, this is the table, and he's like this talking into my phone in the middle of the club.
Yeah.
Like we were right by the stage,
Let's
like
hear
right
it.
by the stage.
Let's hear it.
We gotta.
just talking about random shit. I don't understand.
Yeah.
All 3 of them, I'm getting a divorce. All 3 of them are dating me at the same time. Okay? And this is how we break it down in the podcast. This is the fucking plot of the podcast, bitches. Listen to me. And this is all facts. But baby, listen, German. I need you.
Is his name German?
Leah, come here. This is
He's talking
important.
to the server.
When you have to be the oracle of truth, because the world is trying to protect you, okay? If what I'm about to say is true, okay, you have to be like, that's the motherfucking truth, and repeat it in German. Linguists.
Like,
Women are so smart. right? And listen, and they're sexy as fuck. She loves me for my mind. She loves me for my style. And with her, it's just motherfucking destiny. They all with me for my money.
So he decided that our podcast.
And you got 16 minutes of that, huh?
Oh, 16 minutes, yeah.
That is awesome.
16 minutes of that. So it was me and two of the servers originally talking to him. And so he decided that the one server liked him for his style.
Right, I got that.
The other one liked him for his eyes, and that I was his destiny. But we all wanted him for his money. So that was the name and the like tagline of our podcast that we were creating. He, by the end of the night, he was literally sitting in a chair just like this, having a conversation with me. Like I was like giving him dances, and then like I turned around and he looked like he was asleep, so I stopped because I'm like, this is weird. And then he's literally just sitting there like telling me about the Oracle and like who God knows what else this man was talking about, because I could not understand a single
Did anybody
word.
speak German? Why was?
Yeah, the server.
Oh, the server spoke
Yeah,
German.
so one of the servers at the club is like
German.
Yeah, she's German. She's not from here and everything. It's fine. My brain stopped functioning. And so he wanted her to speak German. He was also trying to pay us to rate his dick. He like wanted us to look at a picture.
This is something that every podcast comes up, but the dick shaming, is that what it's called?
Oh no,
Penis
he
shaming.
wanted us to tell him how big it was.
Oh, he was going that way.
Yeah.
I see.
And then 2 days later, he was back and ended up taking me upstairs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he wasn't high that time, so it was a little more normal.
I see.
And he wanted me to sit there and just rub his earlobes while
And that
I
was normal.
spoke to him. I mean, considering what we're used to,
Right,
if you
yeah.
just want me to like talk to you and rub your earlobes, that's fine. Like
First,
that's nothing.
man, will you please rate my penis? And second, can I rub your earlobes?
Oh no, he wanted his earlobes. Right?
Oh, his ear.
Yeah, he wanted me to rub his earlobes.
yeah.
He told me if he comes back, he's going to bring his earlobe oil,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Is this maybe
A fetish.
maybe something you can market?
Maybe.
Earlobe oil, huh?
Maybe I'm really good at it.
What'd you rate him 1 to 10?
What, his dick?
Yeah.
You know, I actually did let him pay me to rate it. And I told him it was a solid 9.5. I'm going to tell y'all it was probably like a good 2.5, especially with the way that the picture was. He like angled it like from the side over here, and he wasn't even like holding it with his hand. He just had 2 fingers on it. And it honestly, like looking at it made me thoroughly uncomfortable, but he gave me $200 just to do that. So
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
I wasn't going to turn $200 down just to look at a picture.
No bonus or tip for the 9.5 rating.
No, I wish. That was why he came back, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the earlobe
the earlobes.
oil rubbing session.
I mean, look, it happens. It happens.
I mean, yeah. I remember one time I was at the bar and one of the girls was like, I just got done doing some time. This guy had the hardest erection and the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, did you see it? She's like, no, but you can tell. Right then, I look down and I see this little dude, and this dude always had like Napoleon complex to me because I'd never talked to him, but he was just like this little dude that would just walk around like he's so cool. Man, I'm telling you, I saw when he was walking by me, I saw the head, and listen, no, I'm not even kidding. It was at his kneecap. You know, like I sell toys at my store. I know what a fake one. Like his dick was that long, and I was like, "Holy cow!" I was like, "Now I know why that guy's walking around." Oh, it was a speed bump in his pants. It was like literally, and that was pretty funny. I could only imagine. I honestly didn't realize that they got that large. To be quite honest,
I don't think I would even want something that big.
it
That
was
just seems like
bizarre.
terrifying.
It was. I was like, wow, that should be in like the Smithsonian or something.
I feel like Jaffe always has the craziest of stories. I feel like people like to show they're crazy when Jaffe's around.
You think he just invites it?
No, I think that out of all of the
I'm more in tune
managers,
to listen to it.
he's the nicest. No, 100%. That he's the nicest out of all of y'all, and so
Yeah.
the crazy really gets to show.
I'll listen to him.
I see.
Carlos just kind of is like, I'm not dealing with it. Get out.
Yeah, Javi does have a lot of crazy stories.
And then who knows where you are?
That's it, right? I'm absent. I got a crazy story about Jaffe. Jaffe used to have these fetish parties, And
Are you really going to tell about me buying the picture?
you don't want me to tell it?
I don't care. Go ahead.
So we had these fetish parties, and we'd have the
It was at Liquid Lounge.
Yeah, it was so we had this high-end photographer.
You got to tell the whole thing. It's where the Hooters is now downtown.
Right,
It used to be called Liquid Lounge and Will's Partners.
So
it was a hot spot.
So we had a fetish party. We'd have them so often, and again with the photographers, they would take pictures of people in whatever poses you want to, and then the next party, they would post the picture on the wall, and it was for sale if anybody wanted to buy it. It wasn't expensive, like $50, $100. And so we had a great fetish party. Pictures were posted for the next one. Jaffe was at that fetish party, and there was this picture of these legs in fishnets that were great looking. And Jaffe was like, man, those look great.
I was going to buy them for the store.
And he bought them. I remember him running past me to the front door. He was like, man, he was showing everybody too. Look at these fucking legs.
It was
awesome. This is fucking great. And he came in, and I was at the front door. He was taking it to his car. He's like,
Craig.
what do you think about these, man? He says, I said, it's fucking Craig, dude.
Craig was this little gay hairstylist buddy of ours, and it was his legs. He was dressed up, and the photo shoot was his legs. So it was a guy.
His face like melted.
Please tell me you still
yeah.
hung it somewhere.
Oh, man.
I was like, no refunds. No refunds. It's yours.
Yeah.
Please tell me that's hung up somewhere,
No,
like
it
with
is.
a
It's a
spotlight
great
in your
picture, too.
house.
Hey,
Great
wasn't that the one when that girl had the dildo on fire? Was it the same night?
It may have been a different one.
No, she had a dildo on fire.
Yeah, I had a fire. She knew how to do fire. She used to work Burning Man, a lot of shows around town. She was also an adult a porn star, and so we contracted her to do her fire show, and it was her rider had different things, but there was all the same price. So stupid me, I'm like, yeah, do the whole show. Why not? Sign the bottom line, same damn price. So she shows up, and she's got all her gear. She's in my office. She's like, if I catch on fire, don't put me out. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, I'll let you know when I want you to put me out. I was like, all right, fine, no problem. So I'm standing there with a bucket of water and a blanket the entire show. And to this day, the Benny Benassi song, Satisfaction, still makes me start sweating because that's what the song was going. Nah, nah, nah. That's what's going on. The DJ's playing it. She's running around naked, blowing fire, things on fire, and then she had this phallus, right?
And the club's narrow. It's like a long hallway.
With no sprinkler system. And the door's locked. I'm like, I'm still going to jail. So the phallus has the thing where she lights it on fire at the end, right? And I didn't know that part of the show was, which I found out then, was that she gets on the floor, lights the thing on fire, and starts fucking herself with it. There's a picture of me, like my mouth is on the floor. I'm holding the blanket of the water. There's smoke everywhere. Betty Benassi's. I'm just sweating. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, the people's faces are like, oh my God. So she does this whole show. She caught on fire a couple times. Didn't put her out. Finally over, she goes in my office. She's like, I was like, what do you think of the show? I'm like, oh God, I'm so glad it's over. She was like, well, where's all my stuff? I'm like, it's all here. The security brought it. And the phallus is missing. I'm like, oh my God. She said, that's a couple $1,000. So I sent security, I said, go find the phallus. What the hell happened? And some other people had gotten a phallus that we knew, some actually famous people. And they were taking a photo shoot with the phallus.
After she just fucked herself with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one. Those pictures had to be destroyed. But yeah, that was the story with the girl on fire.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Good times.
I peed in your cigarette machine.
He did. He peed in the cigarette machine.
I was so banged up. They called me Rain Man that night. This is so long ago. I literally, his partner Mike was like, William, will you get, David worked there too. David was the doorman. They're like, David, will you get your buddy out of here? He just pissed in the cigarette machine.
And where the change would come back? Yeah. That's where he was peeing.
Oh, no, you have to give the change. If it makes you feel any better, I peed in someone's mailbox one time.
How in the world?
Well, so technically I peed into a cup and then poured it into the mailbox.
Oh, I had a really weird picture.
I was like, how'd you get up there?
Well, so like I couldn't leave the cup in the mailbox because it was like a Chili's cup, and the girl that I was with is like, that's where she worked at the time, and it was her boyfriend's mailbox. We thought he was cheating, and so we went and we were gonna put a bag of piss, but we didn't have a bag, so I peed in a cup and just poured it on top of all of his mail.
Oh, Okay.
This was when I was 18.
I see.
Freshly graduated high
How old are
school.
you now?
22.
So 4 years ago.
A lot can change. A lot can change in 4 years. Been through 2 whole boyfriends in that time.
Did he even notice or no?
You know, we never asked him. And he never told us. They're now dating.
Oh, they're back together?
Yeah, they're back together
and
now.
she's never disclosed that she had pee all over his mail?
No. We don't ever.
What is it to know now?
Good thing I didn't say who it was.
Yeah, he'll still know.
He'll still know.
Probably.
He'll still
He'll be
know.
like, these
He
fucking
had a
dumb
suspicion.
bitches. Oh, no. He knew it was us.
Yeah.
If he knew that happened, he would have known it was us.
Yeah.
100%.
Why was that the deciding insult?
Well, so, like, basically what had happened is we were, like, hanging out with his ex-girlfriend because, like, he had been playing my friend and her, like, so he was, like, kind of with both of them. Mm-hmm. And so we hung out with her, and she wouldn't let us, like, we were, like, trying to take selfies, and, like, she wouldn't even, like, be in the back of them. Like, she, like, freaked out about it. Mm-hmm. So then after she left, we all were like, oh, well, she probably is going to his house. So I drove us to his house and to her house, and I ended up having to pee while we were there, so we decided that instead of going to the gas station, just right into the cup.
And then the mail.
Into the mailbox.
It makes sense.
I feel like it worked
Now
out.
that you explained
I
it,
thought
yeah.
you were aiming.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like it makes pretty good sense.
I guess so.
All right, guys, we got to wrap that one up. Kendall, that was a good one.
Thanks.
That was a good one. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jaffe along with Will and Kendall. We will be releasing a new episode every Sunday at 7. Please find us on Instagram at Nightshift Uncensored Podcast. And please follow us on our YouTube channel and on Spotify, both under Nightshift Uncensored. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Sunday at 7, I feel like sounds good, right? Theoretically, it doesn't make a difference, but I just feel like Sunday at 7 sounds cool, you know?